Please subscribe my channel to help me grow. The moment his words dropped into the room, something inside me snapped so sharply that even the air felt bruised. My son is going out of town tomorrow, my boss said, tapping his pen on the glass table. Your wife will go with him. For a moment, I couldn't breathe. It was as if someone had poured boiling water into my chest. All I could hear was the subtle hum of the office AC and the distant clicking of keyboards outside. The world suddenly felt too bright, too loud, and too unreal. I forced my lips to move. Excuse me, what did you just say? He leaned back, smiling the way people do when they're unaware of the fire they've lit. Or worse, when they know exactly what they're doing. It's a quick trip to Lahore. Presentation for our new client. She's on the PR team. My son needs someone competent. She's perfect. My pulse thudded in my ears. You didn't ask her. She already agreed. His shrug was casual, careless, but something in his eyes glinted, something I had ignored for months. Agreed. Without telling me. My phone sat heavy in my hand, screen dark, mocking. She hadn't mentioned any trip last night when she fell asleep on the couch while texting someone, smiling faintly at the screen. I swallowed. She didn't tell me. He smiled again, this time sharper. Maybe she forgot. But I knew that wasn't it. My wife didn't forget things like trips with other men. Especially not with the boss's privileged, charismatic son who flirted with anything that breathed. A cold, sick feeling seeped through me. And then, before I could stop myself, my reply came out steady, cutting, and louder than intended. She won't go. Silence cracked over the room. My boss stared at me, stunned, eyes narrowing, as if I had just broken a rule I was supposed to obey without question. His jaw tightened. Is that so? Yes, I said. She's my wife. His lips curled. In this company, I make the decisions. I leaned forward, unable to restrain the shaking anger rising inside me. You don't make decisions about my marriage. His expression shifted, annoyance, then something colder. This attitude, not good for your future here. There it was. The real pressure. The unspoken threat. But underneath my shaking fear was something else. A splinter of truth I didn't want to examine yet. Why did he assume I wouldn't object? Why did she agree before talking to me? Why was he so comfortable, so confident? Why did this feel rehearsed? When I walked out of his office, the hallway lights suddenly felt too harsh. Every step echoed like footsteps in an empty house. I pulled out my phone and dialed her. No answer. I tried again. Voicemail. My chest tightened. I stared at her WhatsApp status. Last seen. Online 2 minutes ago. Talking to someone. Just not me. The elevator doors closed around me, and it felt like they were sealing me in with my worst thoughts. Memories flashed, her sudden need for privacy, her late-night calls for work, the way she started dressing more carefully for office events, her growing admiration for my boss's son, whom she claimed was just sweet, just friendly. I had ignored every red flag. I stepped out into the parking lot, the heat baking the pavement. The sunlight hit me like an accusation. I opened the car door, sat down, and finally texted her. I heard from someone about the trip. Call me. 3 dots appeared. Then disappeared. Then reappeared. My throat tightened as her message came through. Can't talk. Busy. Busy. The word felt like a slap. Busy with what? Busy with who? I typed again, hands trembling. Why didn't you tell me about Lahore? This time the dots didn't appear at all. I stared at her silence until it felt like it was eating a hole through me. When I reached home that evening, she was already there. Her face softened when she saw me, but there was something off in her eyes, like she'd rehearsed a story she wasn't ready to tell. You're early, she said. I walked past her, heart pounding. Why didn't you tell me about the trip? She froze. It was brief, barely a second, but I caught it. The panic, the calculation, the scramble. Then came the lie. I was going to tell you tonight. Why did he say you already agreed? She opened her mouth, closed it, and looked away. It's just work. He needed someone. That's all. You didn't think you should ask me. She hesitated. I didn't know I needed permission. It wasn't the words that broke me. It was the tone. Cold. Defensive. Almost annoyed. Like I was the problem. And that's when it clicked. This wasn't sudden. This wasn't accidental. This trip was just the first thing I wasn't meant to know about. A tremor ran through my body as I stepped closer. Is there something going on with you and him? Her eyes flared. Shock, fear, then anger. How can you even ask me that? Answer the question. She shook her head, breathing tight and fast. You're being insecure. Insecure. The word that betrayers love the most. I stared at her, and for the first time in years, she didn't look like my wife. She looked like a stranger holding a version of herself she didn't want me to see. I exhaled slowly. Then you won't go, I said softly. Because if you step on that trip, we're done. Her expression shattered. Anger flickered. Then, unexpectedly, guilt. Deep, trembling guilt. She didn't answer. But she didn't pack. The next morning, my boss called, furious, demanding explanations. I didn't give him any. I simply said, my wife stays with me. Whatever future you think you control, I don't need it. When I turned off my phone, she was standing behind me, eyes filled with tears she had hidden for too long, finally forced to face the truth she thought she could keep buried. She whispered, I'm sorry. And the sound of it told me everything. It wasn't about the trip. It was about everything she hadn't said. Everything she had almost done. Everything she was afraid I finally saw.